Hello everyone! Thank you for joining Experimental Civics and our Design Thinking for Social Good series. This is Module 6, Frankenstein Test, and is one of the 6 design thinking tools that we will be sharing with you. Today we will be learning about the Frankenstein test. We call this tool Frankenstein Test because it assesses whether there is enduring potential. You will focus on figuring out what you need to get started, how to get off the ground, and if you will be able to stay in the sky. Oftentimes, when we think about design thinking for social good, we have to be mindful of the fact that what we build is not only useful for the end user, but also needs to be something that will last. We want to put energy into something that is sustainable. How do we conduct a Frankenstein test? In order to pass a Frankenstein test, your project needs to pass a series of different smaller tests. It's perfectly okay to have these in place, and for them to fail, which is the best part of it all. For this activity, you will need a whiteboard and whiteboard markers or colourful pens and post-it notes. You will begin by writing down all of the elements that you currently have in place. When you are done, you slowly remove one item from the group. Take a look at what's left, and then examine how it being gone impacts your project. For example, let's say you have these 3 items: volunteer support, mobile app, funding. Then ask, how does it feel to have one removed? Can you find ways to support the criteria with the remaining elements? What happens when you start to remove 2 to 3 elements at one time? Immediately, this activity will help you see how much weight you have in one particular area, and also where your potential weak spots could be. It's very handy to know all of these factors, even if the project is doing well, because you can work towards designing for all possibilities. You will also know how to potentially counteract and safeguard against vulnerabilities. There have been too many times that when we're building, we often forget who or what we are building for, and how long something should live for. We highly recommend that you take a few hours to flush through everything and get a clear status report for where you are. At the same time, the Frankenstein test doesn't have to be extensive. Even an hour or so of delving into these elements can help you and your team design effectively. Can you build out on a $200 budget? Let's take your project, give it a budget of $200, and see where these questions will take you. Where are the funds going? Where do they need to go instead? Where do you feel the pain point or points? Can your project launch for $200? Does it seem nearly impossible? What volunteer support would you need? This activity is meant to challenge your entrepreneurial thinking. This conversation is critical, especially when focusing specifically on design thinking for social good. We need to ensure that we identify and know what we need, so that we can ask for them later. This awareness ties in with an activity covered in Module 5 called Frankenstein Test, which is related to sustainability. Pick your hurdles. Pick your priorities. By now, you and your team have gone through a few activities and played a bit with the elements that will keep your project alive. You have also highlighted some areas of concern. Maybe you passed all, some, or none of these tests, and hopefully you have a better understanding of where potential hurdles will be in the future. Take everything that you have done and assess your Frankenstein. Where are your next hurdles? Everyone on the team should agree on 2 to 3 big hurdles and write them out to display at the forefront of your workstation, or on a whiteboard in bright red marker, or highlighted in yellow in a shared Google Doc. Do whatever you need to do to make them front and center. One last step. Now come up with at least 2 strategies or actions that you can put into place in the event one or more of these hurdles comes forth. Jot them down and hold them tight. You'll know exactly what to do and where they are when you need them. Our parting words for this module are: you want sustainability. You want growth. You want to thrive. These activities will provide you with the knowledge to reach those goals. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. See you in the other modules.